If you like this video, be sure to support me on Ko-fi and follow me on Twitter. No pressure. And that's the reason why Jaden Yuki would beat Ben Tennyson in a fight. Oh, hey all, the analyzer here. Sorry I did that intro again, I'm just so bored that I just want to do anything at this point. Yep, I am still stuck in the room, everybody. Yeah, stuck in the room, yes. So, all of this time got me thinking, screw my audience. Let's just talk about whatever at this point. I mean, what are they gonna do? Unsubscribe? Ha! You fools, you don't even know that you're subscribed to me in the first place. I am going slightly mad. Anyway, so what's the reasoning for this video? Well, again, I've been sitting here for a bit thinking, and I think a topic that would be very interesting to educate you Americans on is why does Mexico like Dragon Ball and SNK properties and all this bunch of other stuff? Why is that so beloved to us, so endearing to us? And, for any Latinos out there that think that, what the fuck do you know, you gringo? Soy mexicano, pendejo. No me andes con mamadas, soy mexicano. Solo porque hablo en inglés para estas mamadas no quiere decir que sea menos mexicano, puto. So, what exactly are these things that Mexico holds very dear, and why is it that we hold them so dear? Well, it's pretty easy to answer that question, actually. In front of you is a tweet that I made a couple of weeks ago, basically saying, hey, these are what the things that Mexicans like. By the way, you should follow me on Twitter if you don't already, I'm pretty cool. I do things there sometimes, just a little... You can gas a motherfucker up a little bit, I wouldn't mind that at all, thank you. You can also give me some fucking money if you can, but hey, whatever, let's talk about that some other time. For now, these are the series and characters that Mexico really, really likes. Now, you might be wondering, why is the selection so weird? Why is there so much old anime? Why those video games in particular? Well, I am so glad that I said that. Well, basically, the answer is both accessibility and relatability for some of these. I'll explain. I'll go over anime first, then move on to video games, and then to series, if that's alright with you. Epic. So for anime, it's rather straightforward. You see, we don't do the things that Americans do, which is just give anime like its own block. With Americans, from what I've seen, you only watch anime either in the early in the morning or late at night, with blocks like Toonami and Warner Brothers Kids or whatever that was called. Now, over here, we just treated anime like regular cartoons. We didn't treat them as these ucky, yucky, disgusting, weird, horny cartoons from Japan. We just kind of looked at them and went, oh, cool, put it right next to Malcolm in the Middle. So, yeah, the main reason why anime is so popular is because back in the 90s, when anime was starting to become real popular over here, is because we just put it in a regular slot on TV like every other cartoon. There was no special thing for watching it. It was just, here's Dragon Ball. Okay? Now here's Top Cat. Alright? And after that, here is Saint Seiya. Or Los Caballeros del Zodiaco. Stuff like that. Basically, it was very easy for us to just watch anime, and it didn't feel weird. It didn't feel like this obscure thing that you are not supposed to like or whatever. That phase of, Latinos just kind of not really liking anime as much came about more so in the late 2000s and 2010s, where we just kind of stopped really dubbing anime as much as we did back in the day, so it became more so of a cult thing, like every other American used to treat it like way back in the day. But now, in the late 2010s, anime has had a bit of a resurgence over here in Latin America. So now it's alright to like anime again. So next is for video games. Now, why are those video games in particular the ones that Mexicans like a lot? Nope. I said it once, I'll say it again. Because of accessibility. You see, Mexicans and Black Americans kind of have the same thing where we're kind of broke, you know? We can't really afford like the latest console or anything like that because we are a third world country and we don't have a lot of money. So for the longest time, the most popular consoles that we had over here were something like the PlayStation 2. Which is why, you know, stuff like San Andreas and Need for Speed and whatnot was rather popular here. Of course, that was the most popular console of the generation, so of course it was gonna be popular everywhere. Mexico's not special for that. However, the thing that made it also special is because, well, anyone of low income could have it. PS2s are some of the cheapest consoles that you can get, so anyone can just like get one. Xbox was a bit more of a highbrow thing, you know. You had people that probably had one, but it wasn't like that usual. And no one here had a GameCube. Fuck the GameCube. However, that all changed when the 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii came out. Because in that generation, Mexico ate the Xbox 360 up. That shit was fucking everywhere. You could not escape it. And I should know because I was a child when the Xbox 360 came out. So this is more of a thing that it was mostly happens here. I don't know if it happens over there in the US. But basically, you used to have like these like some businesses. What they would do is like they would set up like a bunch of TVs, and they would just hook up a bunch of like Xboxes, 360s. And just, you know, they just put on Gears of War or whatever game that they could get kids to play, like Call of Duty or whatever, and just go nuts, kid. And there was a lot of these, especially in like more rural parts of the country. I'm pretty sure they were in urban parts as well, but I grew up in a rural part of the country, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. So that's kinda why these games in particular are very popular, or at least like the more new gen ones. Now you might be wondering, why Metal Slug? Why King of Fighters? Why are those like the franchises that got really popular over there and not something like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat? Why didn't they get a bigger boom in popularity over here? Well, it's quite simple. It's because over here, like again, arcades for those machines were much easier to get than those from something like Capcom or Konami or what have you. It was just so much easier to just get an SNK arcade and just plop it in a store and just leave it there. Yep. So the main reason why those two are the biggest like arcade franchises over here, it's just because their arcade cabinets were a lot cheaper to get and a lot cheaper to just fix whenever they broke down. Yep. Accessibility, ladies and gentlemen, I love that word today. Alright, so that's pretty much what you get, you know? Also, something that we used to do here too, well, I say we used to, but you know, it's still being done. We used to just jam consoles inside of like arcades. Just put like an emulator inside of the arcade, like a thing, and just add in the controller through a thing, and there we go. That's it. And that was kind of like the generation that I grew up with. Yep. And just like that, we're now at the very last thing of the video, which basically has the easiest explanation. Now, Malcolm in the Middle and The Simpsons. Those two are like the biggest shows here, and it's mostly because it used to air in like the two biggest channels here, those being Canal 5 and Azteca 7. Those are like basically the channels that every Mexican cable company basically gave you, so there was a chance that you were going to see it no matter what. No matter if you were of high class, middle class, or low class. Like, you were bound to watch one or the other. Or both. And with Top Cat, it's more so like, well, to put it simply, it's more of a, he just like us for real. Because Top Cat is this, broke in the big city. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's just always like getting in run-ins with the law. Very relatable for a lot of like lower income people. That's just kind of what it is. So, yeah. That's basically why a lot of these series and games and whatever are so popular here. It's just because we had a bigger access to it. Because with shows, they aired in like channels that everybody had access to. So yeah, of course we're gonna watch it. With the two biggest ones, at least here in Mexico, being Canal 5 and Azteca 7, which are channels that every Mexican cable provider just kind of had. And with games, it's just because, hey, they're easy to get, they're easy to just plop in and play. It's pretty easy, and also very cheap. So yeah, that's kind of the explanation for that. Also, another thing, at least for like a handful of these, is that the dubbing of these shows and even of some of these games is really good. A lot of the voice actors here of these characters are some of the most beloved people in our country, like even surpassing actual celebrities. So yeah, needless to say, having a charismatic dub just elevates a character a lot more. Makes them more iconic, if you will. And so yeah, that's kinda the reason why we like these things so much. Now you know. Well, that was a good handful of minutes wasted. I'm still stuck in here, by the way. Help me!